USDA has updated a recent vegetable recall to its most serious category. The broccoli sold at Walmart and it could be contaminated with listeria. The impacted product is the market side brand of washed and ready to eat 12-ounce bags of broccoli florets. The FDA says to look for the best by date of December 10th of last year. The lot code is right here on your screen, but we also have it.
Without timely warning, more and more people are stopping their grocery shopping at Walmart, and you might be next. According to data from LendingTree, over 40% of American consumers are cutting back on shopping at major chains like Walmart. A survey from the American Customer Satisfaction Index also shows Walmart has ranked dead last for food quality satisfaction for 3 consecutive years. Meanwhile, social media is flooded with posts about expired meat-wilted produce and recalled products due to contamination oftenings. There was a time when Walmart symbolized savings in America, where every family believed that walking through those doors meant finding everything they needed at a fair price. But that's just a memory now. Today, Walmart is becoming a symbol of disillusionment, not just disappointing consumers, but betraying those who once placed their full trust and their wallets in its hands. And day by day, those once loyal customers are quietly walking away. So what about you? Do you still believe you're truly saving money when you shop at Walmart? Stay with us until the end, because what you're about to see might completely change the way you pick every single item that goes into your cart. And once you see the truth, you'll understand why so many have walked away and never looked back. Reason number 5. The most dangerous thing in your fridge. When was the last time you opened your fridge and felt truly safe about what you were about to cook for your children? A tin of fresh greens, a neatly packaged tray of meat, a bottle of juice labeled 100% pure. Everything looks harmless. But what's the reality? We're living in strange times where the biggest threat isn't out there. It's sitting quietly in your own kitchen. And it may have been there for months already. In 2025, the US Food and Drug Administration, FDA, discovered a batch of market-side broccoli sold across more than 20 states, contaminated with listeria. This isn't the kind of bacteria that just causes a stomachache for a few hours. This strain can cause blood infections, meningitis, miscarriage, and even death, especially for pregnant women and the elderly. The real danger lies here. Most buyers didn't cook it immediately. They stored it in their refrigerators. But freezing doesn't kill listeria. It only puts it to sleep. And when you finally take it out to cook, thinking you're preparing a healthy meal, the bacteria wake up and start multiplying. As usual, no warning signs, no public alerts in time. Just a bag of vegetables. Like every other time you shopped, except this time, it could endanger your whole family within the next 12 months. Walmart repeatedly appeared in nationwide food recall reports. First came the Great Value brand, apple juice, a trusted in-house label used by millions of parents. Testing revealed it contained inorganic arsenic levels, exceeding federal safety limits. Inorganic arsenic doesn't give you instant stomach pain. It accumulates silently, gnawing from the inside, and by the time symptoms show up, it's often too late to reverse the damage. Then came the deli meats from Bruce Pack Company. Over 11 million pounds of deli meats, chicken, ham, pork, mostly packaged exclusively for Walmart. Reason for the recall: continuous listeria contamination detected at their Oklahoma processing facility. Even million pounds isn't just a number. It's tens of millions of meals across America. It's the sandwiches you made for your child's school lunch. It's the cold cuts you packed for elderly parents in recovery. The following month, E. coli broke out in Minnesota, linked to ground beef sold at Walmart locations. The USDA immediately ordered over 167,000 pounds of beef destroyed. But here's the haunting question. How much of it was already eaten before the warning went out? This isn't about isolated incidents anymore. It's a pattern, a frightening loop. And at the center of that loop stands one of America's largest distributors. Walmart. When you serve millions of people every day, there's no room for negligence. Because one compromised batch doesn't just cause an issue, it amplifies into a nationwide disaster. Summer 2024, Wee's Farm distributor in Ohio expanded its recall to include bell peppers, zucchinis, and cucumbers washed with contaminated water right after harvest. That produce reached multiple retail chains, including Walmart, for 6 straight weeks. Are you absolutely sure you didn't buy a cucumber or a pepper during that window? This isn't just a list of food recalls, it's a case file showing that consumers are being placed in danger without strong enough warnings. Products get pulled. Stores issue quiet notices. Customers aren't actively warned. They're simply counted after the damage is done. According to data from the FDA and CDC in 2024 alone, the US recorded over 500 food recalls due to contamination or heavy metal poisoning. Many of these incidents involved major retail chains, including Walmart, once hailed as a symbol of savings and safety. The familiar logo that once brought reassurance is now masking ever-widening gaps in quality control and the same massive supply chain. Walmart, once proudly boasted, stretching across the globe, now magnifies even minor mistakes into large-scale crises, affecting millions of customers. Notably, the phenomenon of false reassurance has become one of the main reasons why shoppers lower their guard at major chains despite mounting risks. The lack of timely information updates is quietly eroding consumer trust, pushing people towards safer models like local supermarkets, farmers markets, and direct-from-source food options. The real issue isn't just in the number of recalls, it's in the growing sense of helplessness. Every time a consumer opens their fridge and no longer knows if what they're about to feed their family is truly safe. Reason number 4, empty shelves aren't just shortages. They're flashing warning signs in the minds of consumers. Empty shelves at Walmart are becoming more common throughout 2024 and 2025. According to reports from multiple regions, essential items like eggs, cooking oil, milk, and cereal are frequently out of stock or only available in less popular variants. Shoppers have noted entire egg sections reduced to small sizes, while certain brands of milk or oil disappear for days at a time. This has made grocery shopping harder, especially for customers used to Walmart's once reliable abundance. Many are now forced to alter meal plans or visit multiple stores to complete their lists. But this isn't just an inconvenience. It's raising bigger questions about the stability of Walmart's supply chain. Experts say this is no longer a temporary hiccup. The widespread and repeated shortages suggest Walmart is struggling to maintain supply stability. Possible causes range from disrupted import channels and inventory resets to post-pandemic SKU reduction strategies. As a result, consumers are beginning to adapt. They're stocking up in advance, buying in bulk, or turning to local grocers and smaller supermarkets with more flexible sourcing. To them, not finding familiar products at Walmart isn't just frustrating. It's a signal that their long-standing relationship with the brand is quietly shifting. First, climate change and disease outbreaks are devastating supply chains. In fall 2024, prolonged drought covered much of the Midwest, responsible for 1/3 of America's corn supply. USDA data showed harvest yields in Iowa and Nebraska dropped nearly 30%. The ripple effect hit more than just cereal. It reached cooking oils, crackers, canned goods, anything rooted in corn-based ingredients. At the same time, an avian flu outbreak decimated over 160 million egg-laying hens, according to the CDC. In just 6 months, more than 27 states had to cull into flocks, sending egg prices soaring by 86% year over year. In a confident ad promoting its 2025 Easter combo, Walmart showcased a cheaper than last year meal, quietly omitting eggs from the menu. No asterisk, no explanation, just a meaningful absence. Second, global supply chain chaos and new tariffs are squeezing the shelves. Over 60% of Walmart's packaged food items are imported or sourced via Pacific trade routes, especially from China, India, and Vietnam. But in early 2025, a wave of new tariffs imposed by the US Trade Authority in retaliation for foreign subsidies left thousands of food containers stuck at the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. Seasoning packets, instant noodles, canned mushrooms, all the things you assumed were always in stock, sat idle inside containers, awaiting price reassessment, while shelves stayed bare. Importers held back from reordering. Unsure of final costs, consumers got nothing but a limp, temporarily out of stock, sign dangling from an empty rack. Third, Walmart is deliberately reducing product variety without warning. What looks like a crisis is in part a strategy. Since COVID-19, major retailers realized that cutting SKU counts helps streamline inventory, lower costs, and protect cash flow. And now they're scaling that approach up. According to IRI Retail Intelligence, Walmart reduced the number of new products on its shelves by nearly 40% in 2024. Many once beloved niche items, mango chipotle sauces, vanilla organic cereals, your favorite plant-based milk, have vanished permanently. In their place, Walmart's great value label flooding every aisle from sauces to detergents, simpler, cheaper. But no one asked if you wanted that trade-off. On personal finance forums, hundreds of posts now share tips, like how to stop depending on Walmart. One consumer group even launched a website tracking Walmart's stockouts to suggest alternatives. At first, shoppers only felt mild inconvenience when a favorite product went missing. But as it happened again and again, they began asking deeper questions. Why are such basic goods so often gone? Why are the replacements pricier but lower in quality? And why? Won't Walmart offer clear answers for any of it? Market reports show that SKU cuts, brand replacements, and narrowed choices are quietly unfolding in Walmart stores across the country. The result? Consumers are forced to alter their shopping habits, sometimes revamping entire meal plans just because the items they relied on are no longer available. When shortages become a routine, not an exception, trust in the system begins to shake. Shoppers no longer see Walmart as the reliable provider it once was, and many are already shifting to more stable alternatives. They're not leaving in anger. They're leaving because Walmart no longer gives them a reason to stay. Reason number 3, you're not just paying for food, you're paying in doubt. When was the last time you looked inside your fridge and felt completely at ease, not just full, but truly confident in what you are about to prepare for your family? Eggs, milk, vegetables, fresh meat. All of it coming from the place you once believed was safest, Walmart. But now even that seemingly simple feeling is no longer guaranteed. And it all begins with something subtle, a bill that's suddenly higher, a cereal box that feels smaller, a package of meat that somehow looks less, despite costing exactly the same. Everyone says rising prices are inevitable. But if you're starting to notice that you're buying less and paying more, eating smaller portions but worrying more, then maybe the problem isn't just inflation. Maybe it's a system that's quietly manipulating your sense of control as a consumer. Walmart used to be where America's middle class placed its trust. The symbol of smart shopping, where you could fill a cart and still stay on budget. But now every time a barcode beeps and the total flashes on screen, customers are seeing just one thing: suspicion. According to an NPR analysis in Georgia, the same basket of 96 items, if purchased in 2019 and again in early 2025, now costs nearly 25% more. Not because you're buying better, but because everything has crept up silently. Egg prices surged nearly 80% after the avian flu crisis. Sugar, cooking oil, toilet paper, soap all rose between 18% to 47%, depending on the region. Consumers are now facing what experts call shrinkflation products, shrinking in size, while prices stay the same. Lending, Tree audited nearly 100 grocery items and found that almost 1/3 had quietly downsized lighter. Cereal boxes rate less detergent per bottle, snack bags trimmed by a few grams without notice. The result? You think you're spending the same, but your wallet is being eroded. One cookie, one load of laundry at a time. And if you believe Walmart doesn't know this, think again. They just don't say it. Or worse, they know exactly what's happening, and they're counting on your silence to keep going. In February, social media buzzed with rumors that Walmart was rolling back food prices to pre-inflation levels. Some TikToks racked up millions of views, showing Easter combo meals cheaper than last year. But Reuters confirmed the truth. It was false. Walmart didn't lower prices overall. In fact, some key items quietly vanished from the combo, like eggs. Why? Because egg prices had spiked so high after poultry shortages. Walmart took the simple route: remove them. No explanation. This might seem like a small move, but it plants a deep fear in the consumer's mind. I don't know where I'm being led because everything is being controlled behind the scenes. And the consequence of that doubt isn't just frustration. It's reshaping consumer behavior on a national scale. According to Nielsen, private label food brands now account for 41% of the US grocery market. And surprisingly, Walmart's own Great Value line is losing share to Aldi, Costco, and Sam's Club. Staples like rice, oats, peanut butter, once Walmart's domain, are being chipped away by competitors with clearer strategies and tighter focus. Consumers are getting smarter, but also more cautious. They split their orders, buying meat from farmers markets, milk from neighborhood stores, toilet paper only when apps show a promo. Some even install price tracking software to know the exact day Walmart becomes more expensive than Target. and they walk away without looking back. The issue isn't just about cost, it's about the creeping feeling that you're no longer in control of your everyday shopping. You walk into the store hoping to save money, but after 15 minutes you feel like you're being led around redesigned packages. Smaller volumes, hollowed out combos, but the price stays the same. And suddenly, you're spending time chasing down a truth that should have been clear from the beginning. Consumers aren't afraid of spending. They're afraid of being manipulated. And that fear doesn't just cause irritation, it destroys trust. Walmart used to be where you went to feel safe during uncertain times. But now those familiar shelves make you feel watched, misled, and sometimes betrayed. When shoppers need a magnifying glass just to review a receipt. When a simple dinner turns into a budgeting exercise. When every penny is questioned with suspicion, Walmart stops being a companion. It becomes a force to guard against. And when trust collapses, it doesn't break. Piece by piece, it slides off the shelf, vanishes from the cart, and leaves the consumer's heart quietly but permanently. Reason number 2, when shopping turns into an invisible burden. You no longer go to Walmart just to shop. You go there to test your patience. From the moment you push your cart through the entrance to the second you leave the checkout area, today's consumers are facing a strange kind of exhaustion, not from crowds, not from rising prices, but from having to do the store's job for them. Self-checkout kiosks, once seen as convenient, are now a source of growing frustration. Instead of saving time, customers must scan items themselves, enter produce codes, select bags, resolve errors, only to be blocked by an emotionless message. Unknown item in the bagging area. Older shoppers who once relied on helpful staff now fumble with touchscreens that lack buttons. Mothers juggle crying children while struggling with malfunctioning Apple scales. Young people wear headphones, scanning like unpaid interns, tired and confused. It may seem like just barcode scanning, but new studies from Consumer Reports show that customers who regularly use self-checkout under low support conditions experience stress and elevated blood pressure, 7 times higher than those using traditional cashiers. Prolonged exposure leads to chronic fatigue, sleep disruption, irritability, and eventually avoidance of shopping altogether. For the elderly or disabled, this isn't just tiring, it's alienating. In many cities, community groups have sent formal petitions urging Walmart to stop fully replacing checkout lanes with kiosks. During peak hours, one letter reads, "This is no longer about technology. It's silent exclusion of our grandparents. People who stayed loyal to this store for 30 years are now being forced to face a touch screen, a QR code, a system that simply wasn't built for them." And the tension doesn't come just from the interface. It comes from the loss of control, the loss of humanity in what should have been a welcoming experience. One employee shared, "We get hundreds of complaints every day. They're not mad at us. They're mad because they no longer feel like customers." In February 2020, a viral video showed a group of customers stuck for nearly 30 minutes at a Walmart in Montgomery, Alabama. 6 kiosks malfunctioned. No traditional registers were open. Chaos broke out. And this wasn't an isolated case. A leaked internal report revealed Walmart is facing a sharp increase in inventory losses linked to self-checkout systems. Not just due to technical glitches, but due to a deeper issue, a breakdown in trust. Some locations have started installing receipt scanning gates at the exits. Shoppers don't say much, but their eyes say it all. I'm no longer trusted. People come to supermarkets for comfort, not to walk through a TSA checkpoint. For produce. Meanwhile, competitors are going another way. Sam's Club, Walmart's own subsidiary, is testing AI systems that scan entire carts in seconds. Target limits, self-checkout to orders under 10 items. The rest handled by real staff. Studies show these changes boost satisfaction and return rates. Saving time has turned into draining energy. And the real cost isn't on the receipt. It's in the erosion of emotion, trust, and dignity in the shopping experience. The question now isn't, does the machine make things faster? It's, why does buying a loaf of bread make me feel like I'm bothering the system when a supermarket loses its warmth? When checkout becomes a test of patience, when the elderly feel abandoned and the young feel invisible, that place is no longer a store. It's a place to leave behind. If Walmart doesn't realize this soon, the emptiness in their stores won't come from pricing wars. It'll come from the quiet exhaustion of the very customers they once called loyal. Final reason. When the shopping cart is no longer enough to survive and consumers begin preparing as if going to war, take a moment. When was the last time you felt reassured after a trip to the supermarket? Not because you scored a discount, but because you felt, my family will be okay if something bad happens. But lately, that feeling has been fading. Every Walmart visit is no longer about filling a cart. It's a guessing game. What's still on the shelf? What's been pulled? What price just jumped? What product might get recalled next? The stability you once trusted now feels more fragile than ever. And that's why a quiet wave is spreading. Consumers are learning how to survive without Walmart. There was a time when stockpiling clean water, dry food, or medicine was labeled as doomsday prepping. Now it's suburban middle-class families, the same ones who used to go to Walmart weekly, building 90-day stockpiles with one clear logic. Don't depend on a system when that system itself is unstable. Water comes first. According to the CDC, each person needs at least 1 gallon per day. For a family of 4, that's 56 gallons in just 2 weeks. And they do it methodically. 7-gallon jugs under the bed, 50-gallon drums in the garage, life straw gravity filters, iodine tablets, and sticky notes that read, "Replace water in October." They're not panicking. They just don't want to wake up one Sunday, turn on the tap, and find the city has shut off the water due to a burst pipe, like what happened in Jackson, Mississippi, or more recently in Flint, Michigan. Next comes food. And here, shoppers no longer believe in always full shelves. They know one storm, one meat, recall, one tariff shock, and Walmart's shelves vanish. No cereal, no canned fish, no rice, no eggs. So they act ahead of time. They break the problem down and rebuild their entire kitchen strategy. They stock white rice, dry beans, oats, pasta, sealed in vacuum packs, each bag labeled. They buy canned tuna, canned chicken, salmon from warehouse clubs, rotating them into meals to avoid expiration. They store peanut butter protein powder, freeze-dried vegetables, not for trends, but to ensure proper nutrition when there's nothing fresh to buy. And they don't forget the most essential items to stay mentally grounded during crisis: coffee, chocolate spices, hot sauce, sea salt, cocoa powder. Small things, yes, but they can carry real value when the system fails. A jar of spice could trade for a lunch, A chocolate bar could hold the spirit together. Today's consumers don't just fear blackouts. They fear cell tower loss, gridlock, wildfires, even civil unrest. That's why many have already packed a go bag, an emergency bag ready to grab. At a moment's notice, inside are no weapons, just a headlamp, a hand crank radio, backup batteries, ID papers, prescription meds, medical gloves, and a paper map. Because if the signal's out, Google Maps won't guide you home. And this is what Walmart never anticipated. Consumers are beginning to see the supermarket not as a destination, but as something to fall back on, only when there's no other choice. It's a quiet shift, but a revolutionary one. As trust in the supply chain crumbles, they're returning to local CSA boxes, farmers markets, rural gas stations, online cooperatives. They're not leaving Walmart out of hatred. They're leaving because they no longer dare to gamble their family's survival on a system that has failed too many times. Where did it all begin? With empty shelves, with a recalled package of ground beef with a silent listeria warning taped at the Walmart entrance, with an $85 receipt for a cart that feeds the family for just 3 days, and little by little, every time they walk away from an empty spot on the shelf, it's one step further out of Walmart, Now, what people fear isn't the crisis. It's being unprepared, and what made Walmart lose its role as a trusted system wasn't price, wasn't technology, it was something far more fragile: trust. You can convince people to pay $10 more if they trust you, but if they start preparing so they no longer need you, then you've already lost the most important thing in retail: your place in their survival system. Walmart didn't collapse. It just slowly became unnecessary. And that's the most dangerous kind of retreat. No noise, no anger, just an empty shopping cart, a quiet bag of rice brought home from somewhere else, a kitchen already stocked. Before the store even opens, you no longer stare at empty shelves and sigh. No longer calculate every carton of milk, every bag of greens beneath dozens of temporarily out-of-stock signs. No longer flinch when a familiar product gets recalled due to contamination. And especially no longer feel powerless, buying whatever's left, just because Walmart is the only one still open. Now you don't rely on that anymore. You prepare. You take control. You decide what gets brought into your kitchen. Instead of being forced to grab what's left in a rush, every gallon of water you've stored, every can of beans, every bag of rice, every pot of herbs on your balcony is no longer an act of emergency. It's a declaration: I will never be caught off guard again. You've seen how this system works. You've seen how it breaks: empty shelves, rising prices, broken supply chains, hollow slogans, and you've realized the most expensive thing isn't the $8 markup on a box of ground beef. It's the feeling of losing your ability to choose in your own kitchen. That's why more and more people are leaving Walmart, not with outrage, but with quiet clarity. They don't yell at anyone. They simply walk out the door and never return. Because being well prepared doesn't just defeat panic, it defeats dependence. And in a world on edge, sometimes the strongest thing you can do is refuse to let someone else decide your dinner.